Welcome everyone. Please like and subscribe. 1. By narrow_original 3517. Am I the butt for canceling my wedding after discovering my ex-fiancée's massive gambling debt? I was supposed to marry my ex-fiancée this year. We had everything planned, like venue booked, invitation sent, and a future I thought was secure. But then I discovered a secret she had been hiding from me for years, that she's drowning in gambling debt. It started when I noticed a huge amount missing from our wedding fund. When I asked her about it, she got defensive and said it was for unexpected expenses. That didn't sit right with me, so I did something I never thought I'd have to do. I checked her personal finances. What I found made my stomach drop. She had racked up tens of thousands of dollars in gambling debt. Maxed out credit cards, payday loans, even money borrowed from friends and family. She had been lying to me for years while secretly burning through cash on online gambling. And worst of all, she had no real plan to stop or pay it back. When I confronted her, she broke down, begged for forgiveness, and swore she'd change. But the reality was crystal clear: if I married her, her financial disaster would become mine. Her debt wouldn't just be a problem, it would become our problem. I'd be legally tied to it, cleaning up her mess while she worked on it. I told her I couldn't do it. I'm not marrying someone who lied to me about something this massive. She accused me of abandoning her, saying that if I really loved her, I'd help her through it. But to me, love isn't about blindly taking on someone's self-inflicted financial ruin. Would I be the asshole for canceling our wedding because of this reason? 2. By Mealy Cute. Am I the butt for refusing to babysit my half-siblings and telling my dad I'm not his backup mom? Advice needed. Hi Reddit, I, 19F, think I might have gone too far, but I need some outside perspective. For context, my parents divorced when I was 12 because my dad cheated on my mom with a younger woman, Emily, now 31F. It was a messy, ugly divorce, and my relationship with my dad has been strained ever since. He married Emily pretty quickly, and they now have 3 kids under 5. Ever since the kids were born, he's been constantly asking me to help out with babysitting. I live with my mom and go to college full-time while working part-time to cover my expenses. Despite that, my dad calls me almost every week, begging me to come over and bond with my siblings by babysitting. He says Emily is overwhelmed and needs a break. I honestly don't care. I never wanted siblings, and I'm still not over the fact that his affair blew up our family. I've told him I'm busy with school and work, but he keeps guilt-tripping me, saying things like, family takes care of family. Last weekend, he called again, practically demanding I babysit because Emily had a mental breakdown. I lost it. I told him, I'm not your backup mom. You chose to have more kids, and that's not my responsibility. He got quiet and then said, I thought you were more mature than this, before hanging up on me. Now, both he and Emily have been sending me messages, calling me selfish and saying that I'm abandoning my family. My grandma even chimed in, saying I should help my father in his time of need, but I feel like he's just trying to dump his problems on me because he made bad choices. My mom thinks I did the right thing, but now half my family is pissed at me. Am I the butt for refusing to help and saying what I did? 3. By extension_piece_6114. Am I the butt for gifting daughter presents meant for husband's side piece? Back in 2018, we went on a Christmas trip to see my now ex-husband's Joe's sister, Jill. He was acting strange and would not talk to me. His sister, whom I only met one time before, ignored me. We had presents sent to her house, so we did not have to pack them. I was wrapping presents, and Joe and Jill went outside for a period. He would not tell me what they were talking about. When we went to pack up, Joe was very concerned about his backpack. Only he could touch it. I thought, this is odd, but whatever. A month prior to leaving, I found a prepaid card in his wallet. I took it to see what he would say. He asked about it and said it was for work. I found it and gave it back to him. About a week later, I asked if he was having an affair. He said no, and I dropped it. We have not been in love for quite a while, and I knew we were heading towards divorce. Upon return from trip, something told me to look in his backpack. So while he was showering, I looked and found 2 bracelets and a gift bag. I took the 2 bracelets and hid them. All was well until he went a car to leave. He came storming and demanding I give the bracelets back. I simply replied, what bracelets? He said he bought them for me for our anniversary next month. He knows I don't wear bracelets and actually hate them. Why would he be freaking out if the bracelets were for me a month later? He's storming out, and we didn't talk about it again. I was finally able to get in his phone and discovered text messages confirming the affair. Part of me didn't care because we were not on love, but I still felt betrayed. 2 years later, we are divorcing. I'm cleaning out our rooms, helping him pack. We had a very amicable divorce. While cleaning, I found the 2 bracelets I had hid years ago and forgot about. I didn't want them, but our middle child, F15, loves jewelry. We were separated, but decided to have Christmas at the house together. So Christmas morning comes and kids are opening gifts. The look on Joe's face as our daughter opens the bracelets was priceless. They were rose gold, her favorite. Her face was beaming with joy. He sat there looking at the jewelry like a deer in headlights. So am I the butt for gifting jewelry to my daughter meant for my husband's side piece. Edit. Some have strong feelings about gifting bracelets to my daughter and her feelings if she finds out. I have no intention of telling her. Joe will not say anything. He denies the affair completely when talking to other people. He has also since abandoned the kids. He moved out of state without telling them and only contacts them on holidays and birthdays. The only way she would find out is if I would tell her. 4. Buy. Available Wrangler 60. Am I the butt? For refusing to help my sister with her children and telling her she chose her shitty life, so now she has to deal with it. Hi Reddit. My whole family thinks I'm the butt, but I disagree. Or maybe think it's justified. When my sister, 26F, and I, 24F, were kids, we hated each other. My sister was very hard to get along with, and she never had any friends as a result of this. She's the type of person who always thinks she's right and can never apologize or admit when she's wrong. As an adult, she still has no friends. She decided to drink the trad wife Kool-Aid. She met her husband in college, got pregnant, and dropped out. They have 4 children under the age of 8 together, and the youngest is a quadriplegic due to spinal damage and a birth defect. I just finished law school, and I'm starting my career. My husband already has an established career, and we're dinks. We don't intend on having any children. My sister has historically talked down to us at family events. She says we don't even understand what we're missing out on, we'll never know what true and unconditional love is, etc. Very condescending, as always. Lately, her and her husband have been fighting. Apparently, per my mother, he has never let her access his income. He gives her cash for groceries. The bills and stuff have always been in his name. Apparently, he's been cheating too. My sister has asked for me to watch her kids on the weekends, so she can save up money to be able to evaluate her options, aka leave her husband. When she came to me and asked this, I asked her, but isn't being a traditional wife you're calling? You've told us this several times. You must have forgotten, but traditional wives aren't supposed to work. I kind of laughed at how she explained that maybe being a trad wife isn't for her after all. Eventually, I just shut her down and told her that she picked this life. The life that she has always insisted is so superior to mine. Time to learn to deal with the problems that come with it. My parents can't watch her kids because dad is at work on an oil pipeline, and mom is too old to be working the hours she is already working. Our other relatives don't live close enough to do it. She also asked my parents to move in with them, and my dad shut it down. He can't really stand her kids. Am I the butt? 5. Bye. Live vlog lovedly. Am I the butt for throwing away my ex-husband's Valentine's gift for his affair partner? Update posted below. My ex-husband, 34M, and I, 38F, have been separated for a year, and the divorce was final last year. About 3 years prior, I caught him in an affair in which he cried and promised things would change and he would never do it again. I was stupid, believed him, and stayed. After countless infidelities, I finally found enough sense and respect for myself to leave the relationship. This man gaslighted me to the nth degree about his affairs, to the point where he said I needed therapy for the marriage to continue for my false assumptions and questioning his trust. In fact, solid proof of his multiple affairs were found days after the last "you need therapy for not trusting me" speech. This was the same day I asked for a divorce. Found out through mutual friends he is expecting, and their conception date would be when we were still together based on his due date. So there's that. As you can imagine, this has been a lot to deal with. and having to keep in contact with him to complete divorce proceedings and removing his name from my house was painful. Fast forward 1 year to today. He has not lived here for a year. This is my house. His name is not on it in any way. I still get mail for him here, in which I have constantly and kindly asked him via text to change his address, for which he says he did and will double-check every time. This mail includes things like insurance cards for his new affair baby. Just last week, he has picked up the last of his belongings and important mail, which I've held for months waiting for him to pick up. Celebrated this would be the last time I would ever need to contact or see him again. Yesterday, I received a package, and without thinking, I opened it on my way in the door thinking it was one of my many Amazon buys, lol. Well, it's a jewelry box with 2 rather cheap-looking necklaces inside, something I didn't order. I double-checked the shipping label, and it's my ex-husband's name. This is clearly a Valentine's present for the new girl, as the rhinestones are green, which I immediately recognized as her month's birthstone. He's never ordered from this company when we were together, so I would have understood if he had an existing account which had the old address, but I don't see that as the case. At this point, I feel this is almost intentional. How many times can one put the wrong address on your things? This man is very much a narcissist, but even I don't know if he would go that far or if he's just that stupid. Would I be TA for throwing away the whole package in the trash? I looked it up, and it was under $80 and not fine jewelry by any means. Also, I really wanted to go no contact moving forward, so I'd rather not text him if it can be avoided. I would be lying if I said I didn't still harbor resentment and hate, but I feel guilty not giving someone something they paid for. Update. First, thank you all for all the comments reminding me that I don't owe him anything. I don't know why I still feel guilty for doing what I want to do. I just got home from work, so as of now the package is still in my possession. Later today, the dreaded text did come. No, I did not block him yet. He said he just found out they sent another package to my house and claimed he went off on customer service for using his billing address again. I left him on read. Interesting, because this is the first package from this company to ever arrive at this house. But mostly, his billing address is still my house. He hasn't changed it. He knows he hasn't changed it, and he feels it's a valid excuse for the mix-up. He's running away from tons of debt collectors. So now starting to put together the dots of why he's not updating his address. If it was a true mistake, part of me thought possibly he might not have the audacity to reach out to me about the gift to avoid awkwardness or shame due to the nature of the gift. I know if I was in his shoes, I would have wrote that off as a loss, moved on with my life, and bought a replacement to avoid the awkward and cringy conversation. I've took the advice of many here and bought a return to sender stamp from Amazon to use on everything else I get from here on out. Until then, I hope he doesn't just show up at my house unannounced, because I'm not sure if I'm going to respond. I'm going to think on the package one more night before sending it into the abyss. Additional update for clarity on the affair baby. I'm getting a lot of questions on the timeline of affair baby. The baby was born last year. Calculating conception date based on the due date. He knocked her up while we were still married. I didn't say conception based on birth date because baby was born 3 months early. How did I find out? Friends on social media. How did I know the details? He told me. Info overshared in several of his excuses as to why he couldn't meet with the estate attorney back when I was removing him from the home's deed. More info than I would have ever cared to know. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.